now rocking with the best. Who's the boxing show that's knocking out the competition? The kick-ass podcast that make you want to listen. The place where boxing fans and fighters rejoice. Thumbs up for Richie, you're listening to the fighter's voice.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice, the only voice that matters. We're simply knocking out the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us by way of Zoom, two-time world champion and the main host of the Porter Way podcast. We're going to cut right through it because we got a lot to cover. I want to get his expertise. Ladies and gentlemen, Showtime Shawn Porter. Welcome to the Fighter's Voice, Shawn.
I hear them out there. I hear them. They're clapping for me. I hear them.
Hey, actually, they are because you got a great response today off of Twitter. I mean, people were saying, yeah, you did. They showed you more love than Regis for whatever reason, but they did. When I say for whatever reason, because it usually shifts. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about, because a lot of fighters really can't make that transition from boxer to commentator. But see, in your the way you did it is you were doing both as you were still active. So there really wasn't a transition. It's just now you're in the booth and you're in the booth to stay. So not only are you going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame as a fighter, but you will be inducted in the Hall of Fame as a broadcaster. I mean, you heard it first here on the Fighter's Voice.
That's right. I mean, it's seamless. You know, everything that I do is seamless. I'm a chef by trade.
I'm looking at that.
Got the dinner cooking for the family, and you know, I'll keep it brief. I think that my transition into commentary and the analytical work that I do for the networks for boxing simply was extremely easy for me because it was something that I was always interested in doing. I grew up watching football, and I grew up listening to the commentators, and so from that is where my passion for commentary. I was probably in middle school when I had the passion to even want to do commentary on TV and or radio. When I was a kid, it didn't matter to me whether it was TV or radio. I just loved seeing the people push the buttons, and I loved being on the microphone. And then you fast forward, 2018 is when Fox gave me the first start on the Inside PBC Boxing Show. And then even before then, most people don't even know, in 2015, I did a commentary job on for Spike TV, and that night when I finished that job, and I got back to my room that night, I was laying on my bed, and I was like, I love it. It's always been something that I wanted to do, and now I'm full-fledged all into that and everything else. I have a few different projects that I'm working on right now.
You know, it's funny you say that because I'll throw a couple of mine this way. I had the privilege of doing some commentary for Toscano's boxing promotions, and I was doing double duty. I went from ring announcing to right sitting down calling the fights. And when I'm sitting down calling the fights, Shawn, I said to myself, am I really getting paid for this? I mean, doing something that you love. I mean, and be able to see the punches before they come or the game plan. So I wasn't just on there as a voice. I was on there because at that point in time, I mean, you know, everybody has their own craft and stuff. So I know exactly what you're talking about, Shawn. But you know what? I do notice that you have that Olympic shirt on. As you were doing commentary for the Olympics.
All Olympics right now.
Absolutely. And I remember you giving me a text and saying, yeah, your boy's up next. And that's Richard Torres Jr.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really enjoyed doing the commentary for the Olympics. Just last year, early part of summer part of last year, and I'll tell you what I knew I was going to enjoy about it was I felt like I was going to be a bit of an X factor, having gone through the Olympic Games and knowing, even though there have been changes, knowing that I could be an asset and know things that most people wouldn't know because you know I had been there and I had seen it. And so I thought that I do remember the feedback from NBC. They were really happy and impressed and satisfied and all the good things with the job that I had done for them for the Olympic Games. And I'm looking forward to doing it again. I think that I really do have something to offer the boxing world outside of the ring. And honestly, man, to this point, I'm happy that I've been able to do some things that people can look at and take some serious recognition to, and say, you know what, let's give them a shot. And I always defend the fighters. And I say I'm not the only one that can do this. I just happen to be one of the first, or not really one of the first, but one of the guys that can really translate this thing in an awesome way to the public, to the people that are listening. So I can't wait to get back to the Olympic program as well.
Well, hey, like I said, you're going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame as a boxer and also as a commentator. So remember that. And also, Curran Bhatia.
And let me say this. I said I'm getting in as a commentator. I'm getting in as a fighter, and they're gonna have to create another category just for me.
they are, and maybe we'll get in together as podcast hosts. How does that sound?
We'll love that, man. We'll love that. The more the merrier, man. I do believe that while the boxing world is very small, I think that there's a lot of room for guys like you and I to work together to help this sport prosper. I think that's the only benefit anyone should be concerned with is, what does this do for the sport of boxing? If me getting on your show, Rich, improves the sport of boxing, brings more eyes to the sport, brings more eyes to what you got going on, I got no apprehensions doing this at all. So I do believe that for us to go in to the Hall of Fame to go into the Hall of Fame together as broadcasters would be pretty cool.
Oh, that would be cool, man. I mean, I had to speak it up just to give it some life. Now, speaking of life, your buddy Curran Bhatia, he said, make sure you tell Shawn I said hello and give him my best.
We worked NBC together for Ring City, and we're all just kind of twiddling our thumbs with our fingers crossed at the same time, just waiting on Ring City to decide when they want to come back. And myself, Curran, and also Mr. Campbell, I just thought there was a fabulous cast over there, and can't wait to do more work with those guys.
So when that does open up, man, you got to come to Fresno, California, my hometown here, man. Make it happen here. And we got some parking lots you guys can camp out on and put up that tent in that ring and set it up. It was beautiful the way you had it set up at Wild Card Gym, right in that parking lot.
It was very cool. And, I think that is what made Ring City special was it had the boxing element. And a lot like with Fox and Showtime is doing it much more now where they were able to twist things and add that theatrical appeal to everything that was going on made it great. And being out there at the Wild Card, I thought was really special for boxing in general.
Yeah, in the next discussion, too, this is a big shout-out for Rick Ramos and Jessica McCatskill. We got to add some women's boxing to that element, man, because these women bring it, man. I mean, they're putting in the work, and when it comes to showing up to fight, man, they're leaving everything in the ring. Yeah,
I think they're now starting to get their just due. I think it was a long time of, it kind of was, they were just the icing on the cake. They were the extra part that you just really didn't need, but hey, they're there, so we're going to throw them in there. And I think now the world has really been able to see that if you give these women a platform, they're going to take full advantage of it. And in a lot of ways that a lot of male fighters out there won't do. So I think that they're starting to get the recognition that they've deserved for a long time. And, I've even gone on record as saying, I've never really been one for women's boxing, but, in the last couple of years, me having to commentate on it forced me to watch it. And then after watching it, I said, wow, okay, these women got something, man. Let's give them some more spotlight. So they're starting to get it, and I'm happy to see that.
Exactly. Talk about spotlight. We're talking about someone who used to be with Golden Boy Promotions. He's now a free agent, and I'm talking about the WBA Super Flyweight Champion of the World, Joshua the Professor Franco. Now, when you're up as a free agent and you have options, now he could either go sign with Top Rank, maybe Golden Boy offer him something, or Matchroom. What advice do you have to give to Josh Franco, who's watching the show tonight,
Josh,
or even PVC?
What I would tell what I would tell him is you make every deal for yourself. If you are looking at a deal that someone's presenting you and you don't feel like it's all for you, there's no need for you to sign that deal. I think that guys like Josh, and there's a couple of other guys out there who have really made a name for themselves, and it's not necessarily anymore who they're with that's going to be in command, but them themselves. And so I think every fighter wants to get to the point where they can control their own career. Once you become a free agent, and if you've done the right things under the contract that you were under, then number one, that whatever promoter or manager you're with, they should be prepared to pay you a handsome penny. And if they're not, then you have to explore your other options. And the other thing I would definitely tell Josh is definitely mind your loyalty. If things have been good for you at Golden Boy, then and you're happy with what you've had, you look for your advantages and where you can increase some things for yourself. But other than that, man, I would say stay put. They've done the best that they could for you. If you feel like that, then go ahead and keep rocking out with them.
Now, his brother, Bam Rodriguez, I'm sure you're familiar with him. He's now being mentioned in the top 10 pound for pound, who has taken every opportunity and ran with it and performed when his number's been called under the gun, under the lights. I believe he's with Eddie Hearn in Matchroom. Now, that would be a good fit for him, but then again, I don't know the facts. I don't know if, as we speak, if Golden Boy is laying out some paper for him or is Top Rank trying to, offer him something, or even the PVC.
Yeah, and I think, another piece of advice for Josh as well is, you still have to be mindful that, depending on what banner you're under, you're going to get fight. There's going to be fights that you can get, and there's going to be fights that you can't get, So maybe that plays into his decision as well. You go to the left because you can get the fights that you want, opposed to going to the right. You may get the money you want, but are you going to get the fights you want? You know what I mean? So I think that is, a special part about being a boxer, especially when you've done the right things. If you've fought out your contract, then you should be looking at something bigger in the nearest future with the promoter that you're with, the manager that you're with. But outside of that, if things don't look good, then you start to explore those options. And I think it's great for a kid like him to have some options. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah,
Robert Garcia is very proud, and who is his trainer, and even Robert Garcia, down in the UK, attempting to make some difference with Anthony Joshua when that fight occurs on the rematch. And, he took the opportunity as well. I mean, Robert did. He has a chance to work with the former heavyweight champion of the world and possibly him in the corner be able to regain that title. Now,
I forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly. And you did miss, Shawn, when Robert said on record, he said, if Shawn Porter ever wants to make a comeback and wants to put them gloves on, man, I will be in his corner, man, and I'll rock with him.
Did he say that on your show?
Yes, he did.
I was watching when he said that. I got a good laugh out of that one.
That was
let him know I'm not coming back, but I appreciate it.
Well, tell him that you are coming back to California. We'll say that. How's that sound?
I'm coming back to Cali, and can't wait to get some more commentary work in, man. I really do. I love it. Also, you know what? Let me take a moment. AmateurBoxingChampions.com. When you have an opportunity, Rich, and anyone out there that's listening, AmateurBoxingChampions.com. So when Mikey Garcia and I were in the amateur program, there was the juniors division, and then there was the men's division. And now they have multiple divisions within I guess for the sake of the quote unquote the men's division. So I'm dealing with something and working on that right now. AmateurBoxingChampions.com is a platform for the elite men's division, men's and women's division in amateur boxing. What I'm doing is I'm highlighting the top 4 fighters in each weight class, men and women, so that everyone around the world who loves the sport of boxing and loves to see the champions when they get in the ring. And then once upon a time ago, before Shawn Porter retired, or when Shawn Porter retired, you said, oh man, you still got some more, champ. And I said to you, well, if you want some more of me, that means you caught on too late. And for the most part, it's not everyone's fault that they caught on too late. You know, the way that the boxing game goes,
Yeah.
you don't get to see us until we are in a world championship fight. You don't get to see us until we're on, Showbox the Next Generation or something like that. So what I'm doing is taking it upon myself to create this platform that's going to highlight these men and these women who are going to be the next amateur world champions, the next amateur gold medalists, silver medalists. And then those, it's just the way the boxing world goes. Those who won medals as amateurs, they're going to win belts as pros. And so I want to give everybody an opportunity to see these men and these women before they make it to the big time. And then, you look up a few years later after being big and they retire, and you're saying, oh, man, you got some more. I didn't get enough. Well, now you have an opportunity to see these men and these women when they're young, when they're fresh, and you can watch them grow up.
Very well said. That's a great opportunity for all the fight fans and the supporters out there, and you can never get enough. And it's always good to start from the ground up. And when I say from the ground up, I mean everybody knew when you were in the ring, especially when your dad told you run across that ring and let those hands go, that you were something special.
What do you mean? What are you talking about?
Well, you had mentioned one time that there was a fight, amateur fight, and your dad said run across the ring and start throwing punches.
Yeah, that was actually my very first amateur fight, and I really do believe that amateur fight, my very first amateur fight, I do believe that it set the foundation for my mindset and how I was going to perform moving forward as a boxer. My very first fight, my dad felt like I might be losing the fight. He said, you got to jump on this kid, and you got to stay on him until the bell rings. And he said, get down in your position like you're about to, start at the starting line. And I did that, and I ran across the ring, and I punched, and I didn't stop punching until the bell rung. I won the fight, and that became something that I actually became known for, the boxer that will run across the ring. I probably did that between the ages of 8 and maybe like 8 and 12 years old or 13 years old. I did that for a long time, because a lot of guys didn't really know what was coming at them. Nobody else ran across the ring, so whenever they were in the ring with me, it was always this surprise, like, here he comes. And then, you fast forward, and now people know that I'm going to do it, but they tense up because of that moment. You fast forward, and even as a pro, I'm a very aggressive boxer. Yep. I'm on you from round 1 to round 12.
Yep.
And it would break guys down physically, and not only physically, but also mentally, So it started way long ago, and I'm not going to start that young with the fighters, but if there is an opportunity for me to reach back and give to, some younger divisions, I'll definitely take those opportunities and expose those fighters as much as I can as well.
Now we're going to move on to the meat of the show. I wanted to get your expertise on this, man. Let's talk about the 140-pound division, the junior welterweight division, the super lightweight division. And we're going to talk about, I want to bring up Regis Prograis right now. The reason I'm doing that is because a couple weeks back, Jose Ramirez is getting a title opportunity to fight Jose Cepeda. And Regis felt left out, like, man, they're not even mentioning me in the mix. They got Teofimo Lopez ranked ahead of me. So now, as this world turns and all these moves, now it looks like Regis is going to face Jose Cepeda, and the winner is going to take on Jose Ramirez. Now, why stop there? Why not invite Teofimo Lopez, because we can't sleep on Teofimo, and exactly, he's going to fight August 13th, and I want to see what he brings to the ring. We all know what he's capable of. I want to see, since his last defeat and since going through some time off, what he's going to bring in the ring. I can say what I expect of him because he's such an athlete, and I think he can be the one who just kind of makes a sweep, so to speak. But then again, in this small little tournament, I want to call it a tournament, let's not forget about Arnold Barboza, who just who was victorious about 2 weeks ago, live on ESPN Top Rank Boxing. And then Ryan Garcia also moved up to 140 pounds. So
it's getting stacked, man.
it is.
And it seemed like it happened like overnight, which is pretty cool.
Okay, listen. You've been involved in the sport of boxing. Shawn, how do we go from Jose Ramirez is going to take on Jose Cepeda? Now, Jose's sitting out and is going to assumably, verbally agreement to fight the winner. Now, Regis is in the driver's seat, taking the opportunity to fight for a belt. My only concern is we're not promised tomorrow, Shawn. We always take the opportunity, and you have fighters their whole career that aren't granted the opportunity to fight for the belt. I don't know the whole facts. I don't know their step-aside money or what's going on. But what's your take on that? Because Regis wasn't even in the mix. And now all of a sudden, he's not just in the mix, Shawn. He's fighting for the super lightweight championship of the world. What's your take on that matchup and just the way the alphabet suit moves around?
Yeah, that's an old school move right there, and I'm really curious to know, who's kind of the surgeon behind that move.
I could tell you.
The old school move I'm referring to is the fact that there was some step aside money, or there was someone who decided to, hey, let's let these guys duke it out first, and then we'll take on the winner. That's I know you don't. Sit down. I think that's a really cool situation. Me being a fan of Regis, and I really do feel like he's the X factor right there at 140, because he's probably the most versatile fighter at 140. I can't think of anyone more versatile than Regis. Of course, we've seen Regis on a lot of good days and one really bad day. But I think that he's the X factor there. If you are stepping aside and you're expecting to fight the winner, then that's good for you. If you're the guy that's gotta fight him no matter what, then it's gonna be a long night. So.
Well, this is boxing, and a lot of things can happen, and things do happen. Do you think it's a better matchup, Jose Ramirez and Regis Prograis, or Jose Ramirez and Jose Cepeda?
For Jose Ramirez,
yes.
Jose Cepeda is a better is a better matchup.
You
him.
think so?
I do. I think that again, when I'm looking at styles making fights, and I'm looking at the fact that Cepeda is not as versatile as Regis is. I don't think he's as explosive in terms of turning over and really delivering a blow. He delivers hard shots, but there's a difference between 3 to 5 hard shots and some explosion off of a 2-punch or 3-punch combination, which is what Regis can do. So I think that it's a longer night for Jose Ramirez to get in the ring with Regis than it is for him to get in the ring with Cepeda. Well,
you know what? I like where you're at now, because you're in that frame and it looks perfect, and you're showing us some boxing ability and movements. I'm going to go on record and say this, Shawn. I beg to differ. I think it's a tougher fight for Cepeda, because this will be a rematch. It was a great fight in Fresno, California. Since then, I believe both fighters have gotten better. Jose has solved the mystery on fighting a southpaw. He no longer waits 2 or 3 rounds to make the adjustment. Have you seen his last fight? He jumped right on his opponent at being a southpaw. Cepeda just went on a fire and says to himself, as if to say, I'm not going to let a close fight go to the judges again. He's been taking business in his own hands. But what I will agree with you on one thing is they don't know that the Rigaroo has been waiting. He gets his number called. There's no ifs. There's no buts. I'm not saying he's going to win everything. And what I'm saying is he is not going to sleep on it. Give me the pin. Give me the contract. And if it's the right numbers, you got yourself a fight, because Regis will take that title opportunity, and he's been waiting.
And you never really know what a fighter's using as their fuel. And I got to imagine. Hold on one second.
Sure.
Amen. I gotta imagine
Amen, brother.
that the fuel, amen. I gotta imagine that the fuel that the Riggaroo has derives from being overlooked, derives from being counted out, and not to be being treated fairly. I'm not pointing any fingers at anyone at all. I'm simply saying if even if that's not the case, I can imagine that that's more than likely how he feels, and he strikes me as a guy that will become a little more dangerous when he's on the edge. And that's I just think that he is the X factor at 140. I think that he's gonna be tough to beat. Even in the loss to Josh, what's his name?
Josh Taylor. That was a great fight.
Josh Taylor. Even in the loss to Josh Taylor, I mean, for a number of rounds he was in the fight. So, I think that I like it. I like the 140 division as a whole, and of course 135. I think that those two divisions, along with with boxing in general, I think boxing is starting to shift and come into a era where every championship fight is a great fight. I don't think that there's anyone who's able to just win a belt now. You can't just win a belt anymore. You're fighting someone to win a belt in virtually every division in boxing right now, which is kind of unheard of. Maybe the only division that's not like that is 154. I think Charlo is still the top dog at 154, and I think that there's a huge gap between him and just about everybody else at 154. So outside of that, man, there's nothing but great fights to be made. And again, when you see somewhat of a tournament style situation, hopefully what that does is it ignites the boxing world to do things like that a little bit more. It gets people more excited, and it keeps them ready, wanting more.
I mean, just the three names, Shawn. I mean, that's like a tournament final. We have Regis Prograis taking on Jose Cepeda. Jose Ramirez is taking on the winner. And just about a year ago, we were talking about how governing bodies were giving belts away. Well, I'll tell you what, the 140-pound division is not giving away anything. You got to go earn this thing, man. I mean, I want to say Arnold Barboza, a possible matchup in the future with Teofimo Lopez, who's called him out on the show, spoke to his dad, and Ryan Garcia. He made it clear, Teofimo, I'll also take you on. Devin Haney.
It was overnight. It seemed like at 140, maybe upwards to I don't know, three months ago. It feels like I couldn't name anybody at 140. I couldn't tell you who was going to be champion, who was the champion at 140, and it seems like the snap of a finger. There's a couple of juggernauts there now at 140.
And you know what? I don't want to sleep on Josh Taylor if he gets a nutritionist and maybe be able to make the weight. But we're talking about a naturally big man. I met him a couple times in Las Vegas, Shawn, and I can see him moving up to 147, which would be his ideal weight. But why do that when there's still not only money, there's still legacy and big fights at the 140-pound division to be made?
You know what? The only way you would see Josh move up at a moment like this, or at least I want to believe, is he is just that. He's a little too big to squeeze into 140. And rather than put himself at a deficit, I can imagine he at some point may feel like 147 is the move for him. But I can't see that being a move that he's willing to make in the next year or two, because of all of the great fights that could be made at 140 right now.
Exactly. Even though, he was undisputed, still undefeated, a little controversy on his last outing, but he does want to run it back. He's never been one to really call anybody out, but you still have that possible rematch with Ramirez and that possible rematch with Regis Prograis. Now, out of the two, Ramirez and Prograis, I guess we'll find out if everything goes according to plan. Who's the better matchup? Who's the better rematch to take place if you were promoting this show, Shawn?
That's a heck of a question right there.
Only on the fighter's voice, my man.
Which fight would I rather see?
Yes, sir.
Which fight would I rather see? I do believe that I would rather see taking my my personal feelings out of it, I think I still would rather see the Riggaroo in the ring with Josh Taylor. I think that that fight just looks a lot different in the rematch than the fight with Jose Ramirez. Jose looked great in his fight back after fighting Josh Taylor.
Yes, he did. Adjustments.
Made some great adjustments. I mean, in terms of
the southpaw,
kind of who he was in the fight with Josh, and then who he became after that fight with Josh. But I gotta imagine Jose is who he is, and I think that Josh really is who he is. I think he's still a very manipulative southpaw boxer that can fight off of the back foot as well as be aggressive in some ways.
Sets a lot of traps.
So I think, yeah, I'd rather see Taylor and the Riggaroo.
The fact of the matter is that it was a hard decision to make. That tells you about the beef, the carne that's in a 140-pound division, my man. I mean, it's just, I mean, everybody can talk about different divisions, but right now, it's happening right now, and it needs to continue to happen.
Yeah, it's going to continue to happen, and I really do feel like it's a wave that the boxing world has needed for a very long time, and I think the other wave that can't go unspoken about is the wave of these YouTubers and these retired former professional athletes coming to the world of boxing. I think that speaks volumes of what the sport of boxing really is. So much so that these guys are retiring from one thing and coming to do this, really just to challenge themselves. And so I think that is another wave that's helping kind of carry the boxing world to the next level.
I agree with you. I do want to say this before I let you go, because I can smell dinner from right here where I'm at right now, Shawn.
It's not the dinner, it's the kids. It's not the dinner, it's the kids.
Okay, well, hey, you're doing a great job, man, because you're very mobile.
Doing the best I can.
No, you're doing it, man. Listen, I don't want to put Jose Cepeda aside, because he is actually fun to watch. At one point, I called him. He had a great performance in Fresno. I called him the Mexican Pernell Whitaker for that fight because of his movement.
Ooh, yeah.
Now, if Regis Prograis is successful and he is now the champion, look for Jose Ramirez and Regis Prograis. The first words that can come out of Regis' mouth is just, let's get this on. Because at one point in time, he wanted that fight. That was it started to build up, and then they had this tournament. One fighter went to the tournament. One fighter says, I was invited. I wasn't invited, but nevertheless, they never collided. Now, that's going to be one heck of a fight either way. So we're getting some good boxing.
Mm-hmm. One heck of a fight. And I think another component at 140 is I don't think these guys have the actual strength that the 147-pound fighters have, but they definitely have the speed. They definitely have the technique, and they have that explosive power that I was talking about. So kind of like the difference would be like they're not strong, they're not physically big like Errol Spence Jr., but they still can deliver a quick, tight blow that will floor somebody. And so you talk about a fight like Jose Ramirez and the Riggaroo, Regis Prograis, and while you try to say, you know, the fight could go this way, the fight could go that way, I'm looking at Jose Ramirez like, man, he's got a whip in that left hook, and if he lands that left hook, it could be good night. Then I'm looking at Regis, and I'm like, well, that kid's fast, and he's so sharp and quick on that counter, so it'll go 1, 2, that quick little lean back and that bang, bang, and it could be good night, you know. So, I mean, I think that's kind of the long way of saying there's great boxing at 140, and everybody should be tuning in whenever boxing's in the ring now, on TV now. So I think boxing is going to get really good, really fun, and I'm looking forward to it.
Listen, before I get your take on Teofimo Lopez on making a run in the 140-pound division, you know who's smiling right now, actually all the way to the bank, and I truly believe he was a cattle. I truly believe he was a quarterback. I truly believe he was a defensive linebacker that read the play before he was even written. He couldn't even sleep that night when he started strategizing and putting this whole thing together. And that has to be the manager of Jose Ramirez and the manager of Jose Cepeda, and who's a very fine acquaintance of the Rigaroo, and that's Mr. Rick Merigian from Fresno, California, a promoter. Started off in promoting in Fresno, California, and is now going global and worldwide.
Yeah, when you can orchestrate something like that, you sit back and you just let everybody else say, "Good job, buddy. Hey, I'm happy you're here. I'm happy you're the one making these decisions here." So we definitely have to salute him for orchestrating this little thing that, again, it gives us an opportunity to be excited about a fight and then excited about what's next. And that's something that boxing never gives you. Boxing always gives you, well, that guy's got a belt and that guy's got a belt. They should fight, but that guy's with that promoter, that guy's with that manager, so they may not fight. And you never know what's going to happen. But in this instance, we know we got two great fights back to back.
Well, I will say this. We have a lot of people happy. The one who had no choice, he didn't make any really moves, but he's still in the batter's box, and that's Jose Cepeda. Either way, he's going to fight for the belt, whether it's Jose Ramirez or Rigaroo. The Rigaroo is now happy, ecstatic, now that he's fighting for the belt. This was a great move for Jose Ramirez because personally, he has something coming up, and he needs that time. And why not take a check while you're taking that time in a guaranteed winner? But again, the Rigaroo is a free agent. So if he wins that bout and cuts somewhere, I just don't think he's going to run away from the opportunity of fighting Jose Ramirez if he is successful. So we are going to see some great boxing once again. And, before I stood a little long on that subject because I couldn't wait to talk about it. Let's talk about the return. Yeah, hey, absolutely. But that could take the whole show, Shawn. I mean, we can make this happen. We can't sleep on the return of Teofimo Lopez. I mean, the kid got his shoulders look like bowling balls. They almost look like Showtime Shawn Porter's biceps. I mean, his physique. What does he bring to the division now that he's moving up to the 140-pound division?
You know what? Weight isn't always as big of a deal as we make it. And what I mean by that is, you talk about Teofimo Lopez going from 135 to 140. And, of course, the world wants you to ask all these questions. Is he big enough? Is he sharp enough? Is he strong enough? Does he have the power? We'll see if the power translates to 140, so on and so forth. And you forget that there's not much difference between 135 and 140 but 5 pounds. And to get to 140, to get to 135, he was probably losing 10 pounds. Now to get to 140, what? You're losing 5 pounds? You still got everything, and guess what? And more. Because now, and we're just doing the hypothetical, but now hypothetically, you don't have to lose 5 extra pounds. And so you should have more in the tank. You should have more energy. You should look and feel fresher. And that means we get a great Teofimo Lopez in his first fight back. What's that? Just next week?
Yeah.
Yeah,
next week. Hey, a quick question. This is from the Black Corner. Last time you were on the show, he was co-hosting with me. He says, let Shawn know I still want a full workout and sparring day with him. He said it would be good on our last podcast, and it'd be an honor to get rocked by Showtime Shawn Porter, or to at least hold my own.
Nobody. I ain't rocking nobody.
Now, man, you get love everywhere, man. I mean, you really do. I do want to extend the invite, man, because later on in the evening, we're going to sit down with Regis Prograis. Now, you're more than welcome to hop back on and say hello to him, or however you're feeling, Shawn, or just stay on.
Shoot me a text.
I'll shoot you a text, man, and we're going to make this thing work. But right now, was the transition for Ryan Garcia successful at 140, or was it just one of those, okay, I'm going to take the fight. My opponent was moving up in weight, so I'm going to go ahead and move up in weight at 140 as well. Is that a good fit for young Ryan Garcia?
You know what? I'm going to be honest. I think that's the narrative. The narrative is that he moved up to 140, and that's where he's going to stay. But the reality is the fight was scheduled for 135. He was expected to fight at 135. He was himself expecting to fight at 135 until the call came that, it was kind of a short thing for Fortuna to make that move to 135, and so they moved it up. Now, okay, he accepted the opportunity to fight at a higher weight class, and I don't want him or I don't want anyone to blow smoke and mirrors at this situation. I do think that he can still make 135. I think that he's more comfortable at 140 for those exact same reasons that I just stated for Teofimo Lopez. All that being said, I personally don't look at that last fight as if he was making a statement in the 140-pound division. I looked at it as him making a statement to the boxing world. Take me serious. Know that I'm not in here to play games. And while you all think that I'm focused on other things, I got some skills, and I can't wait to show them. So I feel like his statement was much, much bigger than making a statement at 140. All that being said, I do expect him the exact same answer that I gave you for Teo Lopez. I expect him to be much more comfortable at 140. He said that he was. I expect him to have more energy, be stronger. The whole list goes on. So I think for Ryan, it's just a matter of him beyond being able to land that great hook that he's got. He's got to be able to put together a great game plan for no matter who he's in the ring with, in order for him to continue on the path that he's on. There's some guys at 140. Again, I'm not gonna fake the funk, and the list goes on. I think everybody we talked about today, Rigo, Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez, even Zepeta. I mean, there's a whole list of guys that are going to be hard fights for him. So he's got to be prepared beyond just being a bigger guy in the ring on fight night.
Can I tell you what I think, Shawn?
Go for it.
I think it's a ploy. I mean, in a bargaining chip for the 135-pound division, and that he, and able to work something out with Tank. But you got to be careful what you ask for. I mean, my hat goes off to him, because you're asking for one hell of an opponent to be looking across the ring at you. Mm-hmm. Oh, bring him on. Yeah, bring him on. Bring him on.
The main thing is he has to understand that while this is a big juggernaut, he's calling on in Teo Lopez, or excuse me, in Tank Davis.
Yeah.
We have to realize that it's none of our careers. It is Ryan's career. It is it's a matter of what Ryan wants to do. If Ryan says, "Hey, I'm ready to fight Tank," and then we'll see what happens after that, we have to respect Ryan and give him what he wants. And that's something that gets lost in the fold of this professional boxing game. You forget, or we forget, that it's not about the managers. It's not about the promoters. It's all about the fighters. And so, yes, we want our promoters and our managers to move us the best way that they know that they can, so that they can build us up. But at some point, these
you're right with you, Regis.
These managers, these promoters, writers, bloggers, podcasters, I'm include myself. We all have to step back and let these fighters do what they want to do at some point. So I think that if Ryan wants Tank now, you got to give him what he wants, and then from after that, you figure out what. Okay, so now you got Tank. Now what's your game?
I agree with you, Shawn. I need to ask you a big favor, man.
Yeah.
I need you to play podcast host with me. I need you to be my host right now, because right now with us by way of Zoom, we have the one, the only 27 wins, 1 loss, has a title opportunity, and that's the Mr. Rigaroo himself, Mr. Regis Prograis. Welcome to the Fighter's Voice, Regis.
Yeah, what's up, bro? What's up with him?
Hey, you want to say hello, Shawn?
Cool for, huh? What's looking so cool for, huh?
Are you talking to me? Nah,
yeah,
bro. What's up?
Ain't no need to be cool right now.
Oh, I just got back in, bro. I was in the water just now playing with alligators and shit just now. Literally I just walked
alligators
in the house a few minutes ago.
You down in Louisiana?
Nah, I'm in Texas. We got them in Texas.
You in Texas? Oh, okay. Y'all got them in Texas too. Okay.
Oh yeah,
hey,
listen, in Texas.
Rich.
Yes.
He was like, "Hey man, we got Rigo coming on soon," and I don't think I've ever said this to your face, but I'm a fan of yours, and my fingers are always crossed when you're in the ring.
Oh, we gotta repeat that because it was kind of coming in and out. Were you able to catch him, Regis?
No, I didn't hear nothing he said.
Sean, can you please report that? Because repeat that because the last 15 seconds drowned it out.
Yeah, I'll just let you know, man, that I'm a big fan of yours. I think that you're a very dynamic boxer, and I got to get going soon because my boys are about to break some stuff in this house. If I don't get to them, you know how it goes. But what I really want to know from you is actually two things. Number one, I was alluding to the energy and the fuel that you may have right now, and I felt like you might be a little more motivated because you may feel a little looked over, and I know that how that feels. But I want to know, hey, am I even right at all in saying you feel looked over? And then beyond that, what do you feel is your path to greatness at 140 now?
Right now, so I mean, of course, I definitely feel like I'm looked over. I mean, I'm glad I'm talking to you online because you, like, right now you're doing podcasts, but more importantly, you was already a fighter. You already did your thing in the fighting world, so you was already a fighter, so you know what I'm coming through. I was already a world champion, and I was number one in my division, number one in the world, a world champion. And then it's like I lost a close fight, and then it's like I went to the pits, and I kind of been climbing my way back up. I've been climbing my way back up, and it's like now, and I always felt like I'm the best in the division. I still feel like I'm the best at 140. I really don't feel like nobody can beat me at 140. I mean, supposedly, like if Josh Taylor, he was undisputed, and I still feel like I won the fight. I mean, it was a close fight. Don't get me wrong, and I don't say I got robbed, but I still feel like I won the fight. Honestly, So yeah, I feel like I've been looked over and stuff, but it just made me way more hungry. Like my training schedule is like off the chain right now. Literally, like, I got a YouTube channel and stuff, and on there, like, it's just my mindset from 2019 is totally different. In 2019, I was on there talking about, in training camp, it's boring to me. So I like to go play. I like to go have fun. I would train, then I would go have fun. And like now, I'm totally different. Like in training camp, like I still do all that stuff outside of training, like outside of fights and training camp. But inside of training camp, it's all serious now. Like all I do is all serious. It's just like I train, I wake up, I train, and I train at home most of the time because I got a gym in the house. So I train, I come inside, I'll eat, I take a nap, I wake up, I train again, mess with my kids and stuff, then I train again. It's literally all my day is only training, eating, sleeping, and training. That's all I do.
Lifestyle.
It's no more playing around no more inside of training camp, So my mindset is totally different now, and I'm just so like right now I'm just so hungry to get back. What I truly deserve is mine, like that number one spot. Like for me, what's more important than being a world champion is definitely important, and making money is definitely important. But for me, what I love, I used to I have a subscription to the Ring magazine, and every month I get it, I'm number one. Every month. I mean, this happened for a long time. I got so many. I got all the books right here. Every month, I'm number one in that magazine. Number one. And so for me, that fueled me and that motivated me. And so what I need to do is get back to that number one spot again at 140. And to answer your question again, the greatness at 140, it's they got a lot of it's a lot of smoke at 140. It's about to be a lot of big names at 140. So like I said, in the next year, 2 years or something like that, it's gonna be crazy fights at 140. And if I can fight all them, I feel like I could be a Hall of Famer.
Good luck for you, my man. I gotta go.
I feel you, bro. Yep.
All right, Sean. Hey, good. Hey, thanks for talking to us. And we did talk about the 140-pound division. Regis, I got you all to myself now, my man. And before you came on, we can fix this picture right here. Let's fix this picture right here. No, we're not going to do that. No, we can't. We're going to roll with it. Regis, we're going to adjust your picture right now. And also fix where my guy put welterweight, and he should have put junior welterweight. we were talking about the 140-pound division, and I mentioned some scenarios, and one of them was, of course, Cepeda, of course, Jose Ramirez, yourself, Teofimo Lopez, who's now moved up to the 140-pound division, and we'll see what he has August 13th. Ryan Garcia now claims that he's in the 140-pound division, which I think possibly is a ploy just to have a bargaining chip at 135. I guess you got to be careful what you ask for, that he really does want that Tank Davis fight. I don't think it's healthy for him. That's just my take. But I want to ask you this. Regis, about maybe a month ago, I sent you a text, and I said, what the hell's going on here? Everybody's fighting for a bout, and you're not fighting for a bout. Later on that afternoon, you made a video, and you basically said, bro, can someone please tell me what the fuck is going on here? I send that out there. Now you get the call, man. You get the number one pick. It's like the number one pick in the draft. You're now fighting for a world championship, and that's all you wanted. I know that it wouldn't be much of a bargaining chip. As long as the numbers are right, you were going to fight, and you didn't care. When I asked you, how about this guy or this guy, you said, Richard, I don't care. I just want to fight for the belt. You got the call. You're ready to go. How are you making that mental transition from not even being mentioned, or they had Teofimo ranked ahead of you and has never fought a day in his life at 140 pounds? No offense, but I just call it the way I see it, to now you're fighting for a world title against Jose Cepeda.
I mean, I'm glad, bro. You know, it's like the old saying goes, the closed mouths don't get fed, you know. So
That's
what
right.
if I didn't make that video? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What if I didn't make the video? What if I didn't, you know, like, state my frustrations and stuff like that? Maybe it wouldn't be happening. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe it would. Maybe it wouldn't be happening. I don't know, bro. So, I felt like it was gonna come. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like it always was gonna come. But you know, when it did aggravate me a little bit when Cepeda got matched against Ramirez. It did aggravate me a little bit because I knew my last fight was a mandatory. You know, I was in a mandatory position, so I knew that I was supposed to fight. Cepeda, and I actually saw Cepeda in LA, you know, because me and him share one of the same trainers. So one day I was walking out the gym and he was walking in. You know, I was finishing my training, he was coming in, he was about to train. So, you know, we said what's up, we met, and that was it. And that time I felt like we was gonna fight next. And you know, now it's happening, bro. I'm just happy about it. I'm just ecstatic about it. I can't wait. I'm glad I'm fighting for a world championship again. And you know, of course, I'm gonna go do my thing.
You know, and you know this because you're a seasoned fighter and you're a student of the game. I mean, you read books on it. You continue to watch the old fights, and you appreciate the new fighters, and even the old fighters you appreciate on the advice they give you today. Is it possible, and my concern is with you, without picking a side right now, but we can talk about that later, that you may want it just a little too much, where you're overlooking Cepeda, or you're thinking maybe ahead? Because I know you've always wanted that Ramirez fight. Are your feet on the ground?
No.
Are you mentally ready to go?
No, I'm definitely not overlooking Cepeda, bro, because Zepeda's dangerous. You know, he's he's a very, very dangerous fighter. He's a big puncher. He's left-handed. He's a big puncher. He can box. He can move. So I'm definitely not overlooking him. But, you know, at the same time, you know, you have to have a balance. You can't be overconfident, and you can't be, you know, too not confident at all. You know, so for me, I'm right in the middle. I'm balanced right in the middle. But I'm supremely confident in myself. I know what I do. I know how hard I train, and I know the skills that I bring to the table. So, I'm not overlooking nobody, bro. You know, me and Cepeda share one of the same trainers, Julian Chua. And, you know, one thing he told me, and he told Cepeda the same thing, he said, listen, don't overlook him. He told me, he said, look, don't overlook Cepeda. You cannot overlook him. You know, he told Cepeda the same thing, don't overlook me, because he a fucking dog. You know, and he told me the same thing, look, don't overlook Cepeda, because he can fight. He's real good. You know, so I'm definitely not overlooking him at all. I know if Julian gonna tell me that, you know, Zepeda's real good. So I'm definitely gonna train hard. I'm not what you said, like, want it too much. No, I of course I definitely want the belt, of course, you know, and I'm not looking for it before that. I know, you know, after that it'll be huge fights, but listen, I want the title, and Zepeda's first, and that's the only person I'm worried about, to be honest.
Two things before I get ahead of myself. I do want to say one thing, but and I don't want to lose a subject of it. You mentioned earlier when Shawn Porter was on the show, you said, you know, the 140-pound division is fire. I've been saying that for a while. Me and you have been talking about that. and you said the Hall of Fame. You have a chance to make legacy in a 140-pound division by fighting. I'm going to mention with the greats. Sugar Ray had Tommy Hearns. He had Roberto Duran. He had Marvin Hagler. And even when he moved up, fought Donnie Lalonde. And you mentioned it over and over. And at one point, turned down a fight with Chavez. He said it was too little, too small. All these dogs are in your division. And all the 135s are coming up to the 140-pound division. If Regis Rigorou Prograis can sweep the division, you're a first ballot Hall of Famer, and you're to be mentioned in the greats. So you now have an opportunity to stay exactly where you need to be right now.
And that's exactly, most likely, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Listen, people told me go to 147 a long time ago. Everybody was saying, man, you should go to 147. I was like, I was contemplating going to 147. And the only reason was because I didn't think I could make 140. I missed, after 2019, after I lost my title, my 2 fights after that, I did miss weight. And the first reason was it was a whole year. I didn't make the weight in the whole year, so my body just killed itself, And then the second reason, it was like, all right, it's no second reason. So I thought that, all right, it's time to go to 147. But then I did one thing I did, I invested in myself, bro. I hired a nutritionist. I said, I need a nutritionist. I can't.
Best move you made.
I can't kill myself cutting weight with saunas and running with sauna suits on and all that shit, starving myself. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna invest in myself. I'm gonna pay for a nutritionist. I did an out of camp. I did like a mini camp weight cut, and he got me right down to 140. And this is no training camp. This is no fight going on. Nothing like that. I did it. He got me down to the weight. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I know I can make 140, and I'm getting older, and I still can make the weight. So then in my last fight, I made the weight easy. I mean, I was 138.8 or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So I made the weight easy, and I felt good. That's the thing. Like my last fight, I never felt so good as far as weight. Now I always perform in the fight. I always feel good in the fight, no matter what. But as far as the weight, I never felt so good, bro. Like the day before the weigh-in, I feel like I can spar. You know what I'm saying? Usually I stop sparring maybe like a week or something like that before the fight. But I felt like I can spar. That's how good I felt. So like I said, now I know I can make the weight at 140, and most likely I'll probably stay at 140. Most likely it might be the rest of my career. Just stay at 140 the rest of my career, especially all these hot names coming up, all these big names coming up. I might get beat them all and Hagler at 140. You know what I'm saying? Like just rule and take over. It might be people at 35 or it might be people at 47. But as far as the people at 140, they'll have to come see me, and I can probably take over the division.
Well, you can't have the name the Rigorou without kicking a lot of ass and fighting the best of the best. Because a lot of times people are awarded bouts. You're getting ready to get down and dirty and take on and earn those bouts. And I'm going to be honest with you. Shawn's one of them, and I'm not throwing him underneath the bus. I got nothing but respect for Shawn. Every time I've asked people about Jose Cepeda, and one of them's a friend of mine, I'm going to put him on blast, Eric Dog Hernandez. He said, oh Regis, it's going to be an easy fight for Regis. And I said, no. It's not going to be an easy fight. This is a great matchup. Jose, ever since that close decision in Fresno, California, Jose Cepeda has just been laying hands on people. His movement has been better. His balance has been better. He's a more of improved fighter. And see, when I asked you about that, you recognize that. So what I'm saying is you're not taking anybody lightly. You're going to prepare yourself the way you prepare yourself for a big fight, and mentally you're ready. Because a lot of people say, oh, well, that's easier. No, you're expecting the best Jose Cepeda once that day comes and that bell rings.
Oh, definitely, for sure, bro. I'm not overlooking Cepeda at all. I do feel like I'm better, to be honest. I feel like I'm a better fighter. I feel like I'm better. I feel like, and I'm going to talk a lot of shit in the press conference. Of course, you know how I do. I get down.
That's
I talk
right.
shit to people's face. You know what I'm saying? I don't really like to, go on the screen and talk too much shit. I rather talk some shit to their face. And I know Rick Morrigan is his manager now, so we gonna have a fun little press conference. We could be talking shit to each other. But I respect Cepeda, bro. And one thing I do know about him is like he's gotten better. He's gotten a lot better. You know what I'm saying? Like since he had those losses and stuff, he's gotten way better. He's an improved fighter. I mean, he's had like crazy knockouts right now. So listen, bro, like, I mean, he's a for me, this is a perfect chance to put myself back in that #1 spot because Zepeda is probably one of the most dangerous fighters at 140 right now. Probably the most, besides myself, Zepeda is probably the most dangerous fighter at 140. And that's why this fight gonna be so big because, you know, if it wasn't for him getting in the spot, nobody will fight him either. You know what I'm saying? Nobody will fight Zepeda, but if he wasn't in the spot because he's so dangerous. And of course, nobody wants to fight me. Nobody wants to fight me at all because I'm too dangerous, you know. So you have two people that's super dangerous, two southpaws, big punchers. I mean, this fight just, I mean, I think this is a promoter's dream type of fight, you know.
I agree with you, and I want to ask you this, man. How transparent was, you brought up Rick Murrigan, was he in this deal and in orchestrating this deal? I know he had his hand in something because he always has his hand in something, and that's his job. He has to make some moves and do what's best for both of his fighters, and also know that you're on that shelf when you shouldn't be there. You should be right on the line.
Well, I don't know nothing about Rick, bro. I just know, only thing I know is like Zepeda signed with him now. So I don't know nothing about him. You know, he's not my manager. He's not on my side. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be against him, basically. You know, so that's all I know about him, bro. That's his. You know, his fighter is Zepeda now. I know Zepeda signed with him. So as far as for me, now I'm just gonna be against him. But I know he like to talk shit. I like to talk shit. I don't think Zepeda is too much of a shit talker. You know, I think he's kind of quiet like a Ramirez. But you know, that's what he's gonna have Rick for. He's gonna have Rick to talk. You know, talk for him and talk shit. So, you know, we'll see. But I mean, for me, it's cool to talk the shit and all that, bro. At the same, but you know, my job is to get in the ring and fight. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm gonna be worried about, fighting and you know, and being the best.
Well, you know what? Rick Murrigan's watching the show tonight. Any words for him at all? Just, you know, anything.
Well, I'm first off, I'm just glad this is our first time going against each other. You know, this is our, you know, me and him. I went back and forth with, you know, him and Jose Ramirez for years, and you know, me and him just never. Me and Ramirez, of course, we never fought. So, I mean, I'm just, if he watching, bro, just know you know, it's gonna. I just can't wait. I can't wait to the press conference. It's all gonna be fun, but at the same time, I'm more excited to get the fight for the belt. You know, the shit talking gonna be cool and all that, but I'm ready to, you know, I'm ready to you know, I'm happy to be fighting for the belt again.
I was having a conversation with someone today, and they were talking about, you know, because it does exist. No one is exempt from being depressed or going through personal things. And we saw Teofimo Lopez, who went public with it. Ryan Garcia went public with it, and Danny Swift Garcia went public with it. And I said this, and I said, you'll never hear Regis Pro Gray go through any of that stuff. The reason being is because the guy just lives life. If he gets bored or if he's going through something, he's either going to wrestle an alligator, swim with a shark, fall off a doom buggy, jump off a cliff, or just challenge himself like he always does, because you always find your way out. That's your serenity. That's your way out. Knowing that you got a fight coming up, man. I mean, I don't know personally who your management team is right now, and you just said you just got done wrestling an alligator. Regis, how much is that shit talking, or how much is that? Were you really in the same pond with an alligator?
I wasn't wrestling an alligator. I was just feeding some gators by my house. That's all. I wasn't wrestling.
Okay.
Me and I showed some friends. Listen, people think I wrestle alligators and stuff all the time. No, that's not the case. I show my friends. Well, you know, sometimes we go fishing, right? We go fishing, and I fish like with the I'll fish with the net and stuff like that. So you got to be close to the water. The same water that I fish in, they have gators, and the gators come real close to you. I don't wrestle with them or nothing like that. I just go fishing and I feed the gators. That's all. I don't even touch them. I mean, I had one.
You pulled it by the tail, though. Regis, I saw you swinging one around by the tail.
I had one. I used to have one. I used to have a little baby alligator a few years ago. I used to have a little baby alligator. But as far as I don't wrestle no alligators and nothing like that, I feed them. I go fishing in the swamps and stuff like that. So when I do go fish, of course they're there. But most of the time they don't mess with you, bro. They not like alligators don't have a knife and a fork and just waiting to eat people. It don't happen like that. They kind of like, they call them swamp puppies. You know what I'm saying? They kind of like dogs. Most of the time they'll stay away from you. They're not trying to just eat people and stuff. It don't happen like that. So, you know, I was just I went with some friends earlier today. We just threw some marshmallows and we was just feeding them, and right off the bridge. I was a little closer to them than them. I went by the water and stuff, but I don't even touch them or nothing like that. Just feed the gators, and we gonna go fishing and do that stuff tomorrow. But I wasn't wrestling with them or nothing like that, So I don't want people to get it twisted thinking I'm wrestling with alligators. Like, nah, bro. Like, I'm just feed. I go fishing and I feed, and they just happen to be in the same area that I'm fishing in. That's all.
And so those great white sharks just happen to be swimming around when you were in the ocean. Is that what you're telling me as well?
So I went, like I do go spearfishing and free diving and stuff, right? When I lived out there in California, I just used to go to Catalina Island, and I used to go off the beach in Malibu, and it was literally only like a few times I saw little sharks, but like, I mean, sharks probably not no great whites and nothing. Like sharks like that was probably like my size, maybe like a 6 or 7 foot shark. You know what I'm saying? So
enough to eat you.
It ain't nothing that can like kill you, but it can bite you, but it can't kill you. But still, even with that, oh, who the fuck is coming? Even
okay.
You hear?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Even with that stuff, bro, like they don't try to like eat you and kill you and all that stuff. It's just like you just be with them in the same area, but they're not trying to kill you and shit. So, it ain't that bad.
Okay, good, because I want to make sure you show up, and I'm looking forward to that fight. Can you talk to us? Is there a site? Is there a date? Is there anything you can tell everybody?
Nothing. I think they have to come up with something by August 30th.
Okay.
So I would think September, October, sometime that would be a fight date around September, October. That's what I would think. But no, right now, it's nothing. I didn't hear nothing. It's nothing going on right now. So I guess we got to figure out what's going on with that. But I think they have a few weeks to figure those things out.
Okay, damn well once they announce that, I'm going to go cover that fight. I am going to be there. There's no ifs or buts to it now, if it's in Dubai or something, bro, then I'll buy it on pay-per-view, but I can't be going out there.
I mean, it wouldn't make sense to put it out the country.
Yeah.
My last fight, that was, I fought an Irish fighter, so, we did it in Dubai because it was St. Patrick's Day weekend, and, it was an Irish village, and it was, thousands of Irish people there at that same time. So, but no, Zepeda's is a Mexican American. He lives in California, so it should be somewhere, between Texas and New Orleans. That's what I would think. Between California and Louisiana, that's what it should be. Either California, Texas, maybe Nevada, or or Louisiana somewhere. It depends. That's if I'm a promoter. That's what I would think, right?
Now, if that fight, if and when you are successful with Jose Zepeda, do you know how much momentum you and Jose Ramirez is going to contribute, is going to bring to boxing? This is great for boxing. We're getting and what did I call it? I call it a final, like a final, like in a tournament. I mean, when those 3 names are mentioned and they know they have a chance of collaborating in the ring together, it's great for boxing.
Right. Definitely, bro. I mean, listen, somebody asked me, they was like, bro, you win that title, you gonna open up a can of worms. Like everybody, it's all hard, it's all big and hard fights, and that's what I want, bro. At the end of the day, like time is always ticking, and right now I feel like I'm in my prime. I feel like I'm getting strong. I feel like not even in my prime, but I feel like I keep getting better. I'm getting stronger, but now is the time for me to start getting those big fights.
I agree with you. I do.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like right now is the time. Right now is the time for me to, like start getting those big fights, and especially people sleeping on me and all that stuff. Most people don't even know, bro. Like I was already a world champion. Like this is 2 times, like a lot of people, congratulate me. They're like, oh man, about time and all that stuff. Like, bro, y'all don't even know my history. Like I was literally already a world champion. Like, already. This is not the first time. This is happening again. And for Zepeda, this is happening again for him too. He never was a world champion, but he's fighting for it again, basically. And I'm fighting for it again, but I held the world title. So you know, people just get a lot of things twisted, bro. But it is what it is, and yeah, you know, I just after this, I'm want, you know, just the big, you know, big fight, big money fights and stuff.
It may be far fetched, but Top Rank is talking about this. A possible matchup with Teofimo Lopez if he's successful in a good outing August 13th, which everybody is banking on, possibly sharing the ring with Arnold Barboza. If that does happen, what's your take on that? And possibly for a belt.
A belt? I don't know, bro. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, the thing is, we have to see how good Teofimo does. He makes his 140 debut. You know, the thing about Arnold Barboza, you know, I feel like Teofimo will look at him as a step up. And I told Barboza myself, bro, I said, you know, because I think he said something about getting a belt and being, you know, trying to be the best at 140. I said, look, brother, I texted him on Instagram. I said, look, you ain't ready for me yet. You know, you good. You got to keep improving, but you ain't ready for the Rugu yet. You ain't ready for that yet. You know, he just laughed and stuff like that. He was cool about it, you know. But with Teofimo, I mean, the thing is about with Arnold Barboza, something he will have advantage of over Teofimo is definitely size, because Arnold Barboza was a football player. So he came down from like 200-something pounds of muscle, right? And he's fighting at 140. So he's naturally going to be way bigger, probably way stronger. You know, it doesn't equate to his boxing power, but he's still gonna be a way bigger and a way stronger man. You know, so we'll see how that. Like I said, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how it goes with them. I'll definitely watch it. It'll be exciting fight. I would want to see it.
You know, Regis, I'm going to say something right now, and I'm probably going to get a lot of negative comments coming my way. They're probably going to say, Richard, why don't you move to New Orleans, or why don't you go over here? And you have the possibility, just put this in your head now, of beating not one, not two, but the possibility of beating 3 of Rick Meridian's fighters at 140 pounds. Now listen, I didn't say you would do it. I said you may possibly have the opportunity to make that happen. I mean, did you ever think about that? Because you just mentioned Arnold Barboza, and Arnold's going to say, Richard, I'm probably going to get a text. I'm probably going to get one from Jose. Won't say nothing because Jose, he's very calm and collective. Rick will probably 86 me wherever I'm at, and he does that every now and then. And then he'll surprise me and do some other stuff. So thinking about that, I mean, that would just be one hell of a run right there.
That'll definitely be a run, bro. Maybe it does happen. We'll see.
I see that smile on your face, though.
Yeah, that would be, bro. That would be a hell of a run if that can happen, you know. But like I said, we'll see, bro. I gotta, for me, get past Zepeda first, you know. And
yeah.
If Zepeda happens and then Ramirez happens and then, you know, if Barboza happens, then we'll see, bro. But you know, for me, I don't even want to think down the line too much. You know, I want to. I mean, Zepeda is a big fight, a dangerous fight, and you know, I just want to, you know, just focus on him more than anything. That's all I want. I just want to focus on Zepeda. That's the only thing on my mind. I know the fight happened now, so that was only on my mind. And you know, I'm gonna tell you, bro. Like, I knew it was happening. I honestly knew. Like, I don't tell people everything. Maybe it's like the New Orleans voodoo thing or something like that. But bro, like, everything I feel that's gonna happen, it always happens. And I'm not gonna tell people other things because it'll just be jinxing it, you know. But like, everything I feel that's gonna happen, it just happens. And I did feel like me and Zepeda was gonna fight. Listen, I've been watching. People don't realize, bro, but I've been preparing for him already. You know what I'm saying? Like, I literally. So I had a fight scheduled, right? So people don't know this. I was in training camp. I'm gonna tell you this, right? I was already in training camp for another fight. And I'm not gonna tell you who it was. I don't know if I'll get in trouble, but I was already in training camp for somebody else, right? Right now, literally, like, I was supposed to be fighting next month, so I was already in training camp. But this happened. You know what I'm saying? This happened, and so basically, while I was in training camp, I knew it was a possibility of me fighting Zepeda. So I was training for Zepeda and the other person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was sparring with like a lot of southpaw work, like for Zepeda, and at the same time, I was sparring for the other person I was supposed to fight too. And the other person has a name also. But I was in camp for basically like both of them right now. So I already felt like it was going to happen. But now it just confirmed it's already happening. It's really gonna happen.
Well, yeah, I remember leading up to that. We had something scheduled, and then we had to kind of postpone it a little bit, which is, in all due respect. You seem to know a lot of what's going on in your career, and you don't tip your hat too much. Every time there's a door closed, and we've talked about this before a while back, I mean, these doors continue to open in your direction.
Right.
I would say, and you probably maybe beg to differ, everybody would still want to be undefeated and undisputed, but I can't speak for you, but almost as if to say, you're glad the way things are happening now, because this second time around is that much better, that much more appreciated, and brings out the best in you, and your patience is going to pay off because you are going to get that opportunity.
Oh, for sure. Just like I told Shawn, listen, bro, when I was a world champion, 2019, I was a world champion. And it's crazy because I look at myself talking on my YouTube channel. I look at myself talking, and I was literally saying, bro, my mindset was just opposite of what I believe right now. Everything I was saying was just opposite. It was like I was saying, man, training camp is boring. Training camp is hard. It's boring. Once I'm done training, I go play around. I go do me. I just go have fun. I go party, all that type of stuff. And now it's just totally different, bro. When I'm in training camp, I lock myself up now. I don't do nothing, bro. Like I have the funnest thing I might do in training camp is watch Netflix and you know what I'm saying, every day. Or just go, like, I bring my daughter to gymnastics practice. You know what I'm saying? That's my fun thing. That's like my personal wins that I would do while I'm in training camp now. It's not, at first I used to be doing crazy stuff while I'm in training camp. Just don't care. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, all right, I train for the day, I'm done. And so now my schedule so tight with training right now. It's like I don't have time for nothing. Like I literally don't have no time to do nothing else except train. Like, cause my schedule, and I don't really tell people how much I change my schedule, but I literally train damn near, I'm not gonna say all day, but I'm training so much to where when I'm not training, I'm eating, I'm with my kids, or I'm sleeping, I'm taking a nap, I'm resting. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Or some type of recovery thing. That's it, bro. So it's this time around, I feel like it's gonna be that much better because I'm really scratching myself off the pit. You know what I'm saying? Like when I told Shawn, I was just like, bro, it's like I fell into you know what I'm saying, after you lose your belt, it's like you fall into they put you in a hole, they put you in a pit, and you just gotta claw your way out, bro. You gotta dig and dig and dig and claw your way out. And for me, that's what I did. That's what I'm still doing right now until I win the belt. You know, I'm still clawing my way right now until I win the belt. But right now, I'm that much closer to the surface.
How much better is this going to be the second time around than the first time that you won the bout? If you're successful on the date that they give, I know you envisioned it, and you also have to envision the appreciation of winning it a second time. Not everybody can say that. Shawn has said he's won 2-time world champion. I know you envision yourself seeing it. Do you envision the appreciation already of holding that belt?
Definitely, for sure, but it's like, bro, the thing is, in boxing, it's like, all right, you win, and guess what? It's another fight after that. It's another fight. It's like, you can't sit too long and appreciate your stuff because, you always got another fight, until you retire, then you appreciate it. But then when you retire, it's kind of too late, like it's just like, I don't know. That's kind of how I look at it, bro, because I don't see myself retiring no time soon. I feel like, after I am a 2-time world champion, then guess what? I'm going to have everybody at my neck. You know what I'm saying? It's just everybody going to be coming at my neck after that. Like, of course, right now, nobody's saying my name at all. But once I win a belt again, then everybody, oh, I want to fight Reed. I want to fight Reed. I want to fight Reed. Nope. Right now, literally, nobody says my name. Nobody says my name, unless they, some, like, they got, like, some little dudes and stuff like that. They say my name with, like, no-name people. But, like, none of the top, like, 10, none of the top 10 people ever say my name at all, so it's just like, when you get that belt, you just got a target on your back. So it's like, you can't really even, for me, I guess you could appreciate it a little bit, but I don't know, bro. The first time I won it, it was just nothing to me, honestly, because it was the first time I was a champion, it was I won it easily, and I did it easily. Like, I come to LA, my first 2 weeks of camp, my first 2 or 3 weeks of camp, I always come to LA, And bro, for my fight when I won a WBA belt, bro, I was in LA partying. Like we had girls at the house and stuff like that, bro. It was just this is when I'm in training camp for a fight, like for my fight for the belt, and like we was just like wilding. You know what I'm saying? Like my coach was like, bro, you tripping, like, but still it was all me and my partners and stuff there, and we were just having fun and all that stuff. And so now it's just totally different, bro. My mindset is just totally different now.
You know what just occurred to me right now, and I'm going to get some more heat, but you know what, Regis? If I can't be a true podcaster and not take sides on where I'm at, that's why I try to balance my guests as much as I can, and I don't side with anybody. I may enjoy somebody's company, and I followed him throughout their career, but I said to myself, if I can't have all guests worldwide on the podcast, then I'm the wrong person for the show. Being that said, I will go there. Did you know that say you're successful, you're now a champion, and you take on Jose Ramirez, you will be the champion. You will be the blue corner. You will be the A side, even though, Jose will be ranked very high. You will be the champion of the world. You come in second. You're announced second. As opposed to when you fight for a vacated belt, there's really no A and B, rather, because you're fighting for a vacated belt. So I'm talking about the mental edge if it does take place. Without moving ahead, it just hit me right now. And I'm going to bring up those factors. If I didn't bring that up right now, like I said, then I'm the wrong person for the job, because I'm going to speak my mind down the middle. You've always spoke your mind to me up the gut. I mean, you send me the videos, pictures of you rocking the Fighter's Voice T-shirt. You've always been good to me, so I'm going to continue to tell the truth whenever you're on the show, because that's what you do, and that's what the viewers, the fans, and the supporters expect from both of us.
Right. So, so what's your question? You saying
no,
I would be the champion? How would that play into it?
No, yeah, exactly, because you're successful and you do fight Ramirez, you will mentally have that edge because you will be world champion. He will be the challenger, still hungry, but he would have been the challenger going into the first fight with no champion because it's a vacated belt. They're fighting for a vacated belt. Now, the winner who fights, let me rephrase that. The winner who fights Ramirez puts Ramirez on just a slight back foot, because they will be the champion, and Ramirez will still be that contender. And I'm going to get a lot of shit for saying this, but I'm going to keep it 100%.
Right. For me, bro, maybe it is an edge, but I kind of just look at it. It's only a mental edge if you let it be a mental edge. You know what I'm saying? And it's a mental disadvantage if you let it be a mental disadvantage. So for me, I won't look at it as nothing like that. Ramirez, I talk shit about Ramirez for a long time, and I still don't think Ramirez is on my level. But at the same time, Ramirez is a good fighter. So I won't if me and him end up fighting, I'm still gonna train hard, and I'm not gonna worry about being a champion, nothing like that. I'm gonna just go out and do me, bro. My mindset is not changing if I'm a champion or not champion. Because for me, guess what? Once a champion, always a champion. So I'm still a champion right now. I already won. I was already a world champion, and he was already a world champion also. So, you can say that, but I don't know. I just don't look at it as an advantage. Maybe in negotiations wise, maybe it could be an advantage. But fight night, guess what? It's man versus man. You know what I'm saying? You could take the belt away, you could put the belt on. He could have 4 belts, 5 belts, and I can have none. And it's man versus man. I don't care about that. So, I don't look at it like that, bro. I look at it like, listen, we gotta fight. I gotta fight this man. This man been training however long he been training. He trying to knock my head off. I've been training however long I've been training. I gotta knock his head off, and we gonna clash, and that's how I gotta go.
You mentioned before about waiting your turn, and now you have that turn, and you mentioned you having a conversation with Arnold, and it was very respectful. You having a upfront conversation as you were leaving, he was arriving, and Jose Cepeda. Do you remember the conversation that you did have briefly with Jose, and what was it all about? And I believe it took place in Fresno, correct?
Who, Ramirez or
yeah.
Jose Cepeda?
Yeah, no, Ramirez.
Oh man, I told him I'm gonna take his belts, and that was this was in 2019 or something. I was like, I'm gonna take the belts, and Cepeda not Cepeda, Ramirez. He's so cool. You know him. He's so cool, and he don't say nothing. That's why Rick Meridian, he talks shit. But Ramirez, he don't talk shit. He like, oh man, yeah man, it's gonna be a good fight. And I was like, all right, what am I supposed to even say to this dude? I'm telling you, I'm gonna beat you up and I'm gonna take your belts. And he like, yeah, man, it's gonna be a good fight. He's so nice. So I couldn't even really talk shit to him, bro. It's like he kind of just took all my weapons from me. You know, I forgot the word, whatever word I won't come up with right now. But I couldn't say nothing to him after that, bro, because he was just, you know, he was just too cool, you know. So I know Rick ain't gonna, he does the talking, and that's kind of usually how it happens. I mean, you look at like Danny Garcia, and his dad has to do the talking for him because Danny doesn't say nothing, so his dad does the talking. So you know, with me, I'm gonna do the talking for myself, and most of the time. I be on some cool shit. I be trying to be cool, but it's just like when somebody say something that catch my ear, it's like I have to respond. That's all. But for most of the part, bro, I be wanting to be quiet. It's just hard for me to be quiet when I hear something I don't like.
Hey, if it's something you don't agree with, you want to make it known that you didn't agree with it. Now speaking of that, I'm going to change it up a little bit. Josh Professor Franco, the WBA super flyweight champion of the world. His contract expired with Golden Boy. What advice do you have to give to him now that he has options with possibly Golden Boy, or possibly I think would be a good fit Matchroom Boxing, because his brother's there with Eddie Hearn, I believe, Top Rank Boxing, and the PVC. You're a free agent, and you have. What advice do you have for young Josh Franco?
Go with the best deal, bro. Look out. First off, I would tell somebody, look out for yourself. Don't let nobody talk you into nothing. You know, that's good for them. At the end of the day, you're the fighter. Listen, I'm reading a book right now, bro, by J. Russell Peltz. He was in boxing for over 50 years, and he was a promoter. He was a Philadelphia boxing promoter, right? And you have to realize in this business, like when to a promoter, all we are another fighter. We don't have a personality. It's like in jail, you just a number, right? That's all we are to these promoters. We just another fighter. So you gotta do what's good for your career and not worry about other people, not worry about the manager, the trainer. The trainers are the trainers are the closest thing to the fighter because they're in the gym every day with them. But the manager, the people that run the networks, the promoters. Listen, bro. If it's not for you, it's gonna be somebody else. You just a number to them. You just another fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all yours. It's no personal. Most of the time, it's no personal connection to these people. It's just you just another number to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like that's kind of what I realized. So with him, I would just tell him do what's best for your career. Really study everything and see what's best for your career. Don't worry about other people and do your homework and don't let nobody convince you what you need to do. Do what's best for your career.
Very well said. Now, Virgil Ortiz, he's making his long-awaited return. Into the ring this Saturday. And are you going to be watching the fights this Saturday? I know you're a student of the game, and you continue to educate yourself. It's going to be Virgil Ortiz, August 6th, Texas, live on DAZN, Golden Boy, Matchroom, making it happen. Hey, there's tickets still available. Make sure you get the app of DAZN. And make sure you own your own, because you do want to see the future of boxing, and that's Team Virgil Ortiz Jr. So what's your whole take on that, Regis? You know, you got a young lion waiting for his opportunity, and the two world champions are arguably pound for pound one of the best in the world.
Right. I guess if the belts are locked up, bro, he just gotta wait. That's all. He gotta wait his turn, right? Hopefully, we don't have to wait 150 years to get Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford, and they fight each other. But with Virgil, bro, I guess just keep. If I'm not mistaken, Virgil out knockouts, right? He knocked out everybody, right?
Yeah.
So just keep doing what you're doing, bro. Keep getting better. Keep doing what you're doing, and guess what? Eventually, your time will come. I think so. Eventually, his time will come, but. Right now, the belts are locked up, bro. There's nothing you can do about it. So, right now, just keep whooping everybody you can. Get your paper, get your bread, and keep getting better.
Regis, when did you know that you can breathe? When I say breathe, because you always negotiated your purses, you always knew your value, and your life changed once you busted your ass and you got that extra zero on your purse. And I don't want to get too personal, but I do want to talk about the transition of growing up. And you've told me before that you shared there was a slight struggle to now you're not only comfortable, but you want to leave your mark and leave a mark and a legacy for your children. How much of a drive did it give you once you became a millionaire? Let's keep it real. Is your hunger still there? Is it even more now that you do have that? You just bought a mansion, which is beautiful, and I'm looking at your bookshelf, and you did state that is probably your favorite part of the whole mansion there, and you do got a new gym. How is it making that transition as a man, as a human being?
I mean, first, it just make me more humble. Like, I don't do boxing for the money. Now, the money's good. Don't get me wrong.
Damn good.
It's definitely good, and my kids live a way different life than I live. Coming up way different. They not even like my kids, and they just not even the same as me. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my sister, how we came up, they just not even the same type of people that we were, basically. And even like I just love it because like even it just changed everybody's life, bro. I mean, I moved my sister in a nice ass house. Now she don't got a mansion, but she definitely got a nice ass house.
I heard that.
So and then it's just, but it just make me hungrier, bro. Like I do this because I love boxing. I really love boxing. I truly love boxing. I read boxing books all day long. I watch boxing. I truly just like I'm obsessed with just the sport of boxing, And the money thing for me and something else that I read about more than anything is with boxing is just like investment books and how to be smart with your money and stuff. So I definitely invested, and I got not to tell too many, I don't want to tell too much of my business, but I'm just invested, like I constantly make money, bro, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Outside of boxing, I got money coming in, all the time. Like shit on a weekly basis, I got money coming in because of, I invested the right way, but yeah, bro, it's great, but I still love boxing. So I feel like I really feel like I'm just getting started. Yeah, like this house is, real nice house, and I got my own gym, everything, bro. We got a theater. I think fucking there's 11 rooms in this house or something like that. I only use 2 or 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? Use the gym more than anything. But I feel like I'm just getting started. I really feel like I'm just getting started on my journey. Like I feel like this gonna be small stuff compared to what I'm gonna really do one day.
That's exactly the answer I wanted to hear because you went in depth in that question. Hey, Regis, you still rocking that Creed cologne?
Yeah. Oh, I gotta get some more. I ran out. I gotta get some more.
Did you?
I got a bunch of cologne up there. I got a bunch of cologne. Just not the Creed. I got a bunch of shit up there.
Well, let's talk about your cologne collection, man. What's your go-to?
Right now, what I got? Man, right now I'm trying to think. Besides the Creed, I still got a little Creed left. But besides that, it's some other shit I got. I even forgot the name, to be honest, bro. I gotta go look. I ain't gonna look right now. I gotta go look and stuff. And I actually got some stuff from Dubai that I liked. I got a few little scents from Dubai that I kind of like, stuff like that too. So I don't know what the Dubai names are, but I like it, and I put it on every now and then. But it's be different stuff every day.
Well, they got a nice bottle of the Creed cologne that you can get this year. It's the 10th year anniversary, and it has a big number 10 on it, which is, if I'm ever going to get it, it's going to happen this year because 10 is my favorite number. That's my son's number and also my daughter's. So I'm not saying I'm ready to just splurge like that, but it is the 10th year anniversary, and yeah. Yeah, but that's good, though. That's good that you don't just rely on one fragrance, man, and that doesn't define you, Regis Rigorou Prograis. Now, I'm not going to ask the question, how do you want to be remembered in boxing? Everybody asks that right now. I'm going to ask you, how do you want to be thought about right now, today, this moment?
I just want to be thought about, I guess how I am thought about. It's like a fighter, like when people say my name, like, oh, they sleeping on him, but he the best in the division. I guess that's what a lot of people do tell me that. Like, you the best in the, you slept on, but you definitely the best in the division. So I guess I like that. And then guess what? It'll change. It'll keep changing. You know, I want to be a world champion again. And then, you know, once that happens, then, you know, people will be like, maybe they do say I'm the best in the division. Right now, I want people to think that I guess that I'm slept on. I'm avoided, which I feel like I am. That I'm slept on and I'm avoided. You know, I feel like that's what people think about me, and you know, I guess that's how I want to be thought. Really, honestly, brother, I don't care how people think about me. You know, I really don't, because I don't, like, with my lifestyle and stuff, I don't run into people, you know, like all the time. Like, I train, like I do what I want every day, you know? And so I have to, like, I talk to my people, like some of my friends and stuff like that. And, you know, they might say some things about how people think about me, and it might be negative and stuff. And I just don't think about it like that. You know why? Because, like, I don't have to run to nobody every day on a daily basis. I literally wake up and I go outside and train. Like, my trainer comes to my house, my sparring partners come to my house. I train at my house, and sometimes I do get bored to be at my house all day. So then I go to the gym, and I'm around people that I want to be around every day. You know, so, like, I don't have, you know, a job or nothing like that to where I have to be around people that I don't like. Like, I gotta, like, you know, like some people gotta go like that. They gotta wake up and they gotta go around people, you know, they gotta go work a job and they gotta go around people they don't like. I don't do that. Like, I literally wake up and be around people that I like every day, and I do something I want to do. So, I'm not worried about how other people perceive me, because I don't see them. You know, like, that's the thing. Like, they maybe on the internet, and maybe people I know see these people, but I don't see none of the people at all. So I don't even know how people perceive me, because I literally don't see nobody, and I try to stay off social media as much as I can. I don't get on social media. Sometimes I might look at comments and stuff like that, but for the most part, bro, I don't care about that stuff. So, you know, I don't be tripping.
Any comments? Regis, before I let you go, I got to ask you, man, I mean, what keeps you up at night? When you can't sleep, why is that, and what keeps you up at night?
What keep me up? I just like to stay up, to be honest. I love to stay up, bro. I feel like I'm missing something if I go to sleep early. I really do. I'm not a morning person at all. I've never been a morning person. I still wake up because I have to do things, but I love to be up, bro. That's the crazy thing. I just love to be up. I watch TV. I be with my kids. My kids stay up all night too. Like me, my wife, and all my 3 kids, we stay up all night. That's just us. My son, it's summertime right now, so my son be like staying up to like 7, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. My daughter the other night, she slept by somebody else. She stayed up 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, crazy, bro. So I'm just like, we the same way. I gotta like make myself go to sleep, because I be feel like I'm missing something. Like, in the nighttime is like when my body just wakes up. You know, like, cause when in training camp, I train at nighttime. You know, so my body just be up anyway. After you train, your body's up. It's hard to put your body back to sleep after you train at nighttime. So I literally be up, bro, and that's just how I like it.
You know, that's going to be one heck of a training camp, trying to find some slick southpaws to bring into training camp to prepare yourself as sparring partners.
Oh, that's covered, bro. We got them. Like I said, I told you that before this, I was already kind of in camp already for Zepeda. I was already in camp already for Zepeda already. So, excuse me, I'm a little sick, bro. I was sick yesterday, but yeah, I was already in camp, bro. I was already in camp thinking about that. I had a fight scheduled. I can't tell people, but I was already in training camp. And so, you know, while I was in training camp, I knew this could happen. What's going on right now could potentially happen. So what we did is, all right, we bringing in southpaws and we bringing in the right-handers or whatever, because I was going to fight a right-handed person. So I was already prepared, bro. I already knew what was going on. I feel like I'm you know, it's like life is like a chess. This boxing is like a chess game. Life is like a chess game. You gotta be steps ahead. You know, and I think I'm a pretty good chess player, and I'm just, you know, I think about, you know, steps ahead and double attacks and triple attacks and stuff like that. That's what I think about. So, you know, that's I've been on that already.
Well, then you're ready to go. You are steps ahead, and I remember your management team said, Richard, you're going to be on a podcast. Please don't mention Regis's fighter, because I hear things too. I just don't confirm it or anything. You know, it's better, and it doesn't need to be said. You know, what happens is what's happening now, and that's what's most important. And you know, I've always been a supporter of yours, and whether you believe me or not, even though I'm from Fresno, California, I'm a supporter of yours, man. And you know,
you can be a supporter of me and Jose.
I am. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's no secret. I mean, I'm gonna text Jose later on because I left some gloves a long time ago inside of his red Spider because we brought him down to the high school to go talk to the kids, which was a knockout of an awesome before they graduated, made an impact. The news was there. He got great PR, and he didn't do that for that. I mean, he just did it for the love, and he had a chance to make an impact on these young kids' lives, and he did. And they couldn't wait for him to come back. And actually, he was scheduled to come back before graduation, but it was just kind of cutting it too close before his fight. But no, Jose's a great guy. Great guy. His family is awesome. His brother's awesome. Nothing but love, man. But hey, I'd like Sugar Ray. I'd like Roberto Duran, but Tommy the Hitman Hearns was just my dude, man. I mean, that's all there is to it. And if you're a historian, I want to say 1980 Detroit, August 2nd, the second round, lined him up with the big left, big right hand on Pepino Cuevas, didn't need the left hook, and he buckled. Remember, he did that little dance, and yeah, that's what I believe the first title he won was a WBA welterweight title, correct?
I think so.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a little bit of a historian myself too, man. And I also got some stuff in the archives too, Regis, because I used to have phone call conversations with Emmanuel Stewart. So back in the day, I didn't know how to record the conversations. There was no phones there. So what I do, I go to Radio Shack, put the cassette in there, and you would rig up your phone. So I do got them on the cassette. I just got to transition them somehow to, some vocals out there. Because a lot of people, they'll come out and say, oh, you're just, what's the word they use? A casual boxing fan or something to that. So I got some stuff in the archives that I don't know more in my pinky than they probably do in their whole body. But I'm not there to throw that around. The proof is in the pudding. Just like what I admire most of all is that not only are you an educator because you educate yourself. When you educate yourself, you're able to educate your children and your family and everybody you come in contact with, including myself. And I appreciate that text when you said, keep your head up, bro, because at that particular time, I really needed to. But you continue to be a student of the game. And I know you're watching all of Cepeda's fights. You're watching his footwork. You're doing what needs to be done. And I truly believe we're not only going to see the best Regis Prograis that night, that we're also going to see the best Jose Cepeda that night. So who wins? Us, the boxing fans, the podcasters, the host, the viewers. You are going to give us one hell of a fight when that date is set. And you have my word, man. As long as it's not in Dubai or anywhere crazy, I will be there. I can't say ringside. Hopefully, I'm going to put in a credential request. But either way, I'm going to head up there and be a part of that whole media week.
Got it, bro. Got it.
And I may just be rocking that Rigaroo shirt. I may be rocking a red Rigaroo shirt, too.
Right, exactly.
Well, listen, man, I appreciate your manager allowing us to have you on the show. And, now that I'm thinking about it, I kind of felt bad because he says, Richard, 7:30 is 9:30 his time. But now I'm hearing your ass stays up late, so you're good to go. This time ain't nothing for you. I mean, it's just you barely woke up right now.
I'm actually about to go on my gym in a little while. I trained already today, but I'm up, so might as well, right? I ain't doing nothing too much, right? So I think my wife go train too. So when she goes train, then I'ma just, I go out there too.
Hey, and do your thing. You talked about your YouTube channel. How can we follow your YouTube channel, and how can we continue to follow you, Regis?
Oh, my YouTube channel is Ruger Life TV. Ruger Life, RUGA LYFE. Ruger Life TV.
There you go. And I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, and that if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to The Fighter's Voice. Our YouTube channel is www.youtube.com/The Fighter's Voice. Remember, every fighter has a voice, and so do you. We want to thank our guest, Regis Rigaroo Prograis, and actually we hope he's feeling better. Has a little cold, but that don't seem to stop him.
I got a little cold, bro. I'm good though.
Okay. Hey, well, Regis, this is the best part of the show right here. And as always, I'm your host, reporting live in Fresno, California. It's a wrap. Thumbs up for Richie.
All right, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
All right, bro. No problem.